I have an announcement. Alright, so I have jumped on asking another guest on the channel. This is a new friend. Well, no, it's not a new friend. This is a new guest on the channel, but okay. I was friends with Dr. Sean David Morton during the critical years of 2012 through, like, he didn't really have too much time to talk to a lot of people outside of his inner circle as he was dying of the cancer that he had, that it's under context is well understood was a deep state kind of an attack for what he was doing in his time up until his passing late last year. Or it was late last year. He passed away just before the New Jersey drone event went down in, like, November. And I bring up that he went down, that he passed before that, because he would have loved to have seen it. Because he was a big part of ufology. He was a big part of a much more rational, not so fucking airy-fairy, super girly, new age stuff, right? And certainly had a good basic understanding of even Norse paganism, at least knowing how little was known and how much more ancient custom respect was needed, right? So he thought it was really cool, having known me for so long, to see that I had gone right into all this kind of stuff and become the man that I am. And so a few years ago, long before he lost his ability to speak due to the throat cancer he was attacked with, which naturally it would have to be something like that if your goal was to try and shut the man up, and the man could not be shut up. So I had him on my channel to talk a bit, and I'm even a different man than I was then, through the cavalcade of transformative changes I was going through, right? And so his wife, Melissa, was always someone who I knew her name. I knew how Sean spoke of her. I knew that she knows me, very appreciative. We maybe had spoken on one or two brief occasions. Well, since her time of mourning has come and passed, she's decided to start doing radio herself. She decided to jump on to be I think she's just taken over her husband's strange universe, right? So now I'm seeing that, oh, Melissa is wanting to be in the forefront. She wants to speak. She wants to do something. That's awesome. So seeing that, I asked her, because we don't talk enough. I would not have asked her if I didn't know she was already interested in being in the spotlight. She was just always someone I was a friend to, and whatnot. And so Melissa can speak at great lengths about the same subject matter that, was her husband's subject matter. And I hope to bring more understanding of that to the forefront as part of the understanding of me and where I'm coming from. So I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be Sunday afternoon. I picked... When did I fucking pick? Did I say 4? No, 2. No, I said 2. Yeah, that's going to be at 2 o'clock. It's going to be on 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday. Then I'll have Melissa on and, we'll chit-chat for an hour or 2. Right? I have to actually tune in and see exactly... I have to, check what Melissa's been talking about wherever she's posted her show, to see how she talks about things a little bit. I'm completely out of practice on knowing Sean's world like that as of late, or what was Sean's world. You know what I mean? But I'm excited for the whole thing. Because Sean was someone who, if you've heard of Sean, you would have seen his, outside of like New Age circuits, ufology circuits, and things like that, and other conspiracy circuits. You would have maybe seen him on television on Ancient Aliens. There was many years where, for many seasons, he was just one of those experts that they would have like a reaction shot of commenting on things going on those sites, and he was basically a audio journalist in that respect, doing audio journalism for radio as well as video journalism for television, because he had a resume with Hollywood. He had an initiatory resume with Hollywood and television because of his interest in wanting to do these kinds of shows. He wanted to do cool conspiracy paranormal shows. He wanted to be a producer for them, and he's written books, right? And his books are basically based on true events where various names were changed to protect people involved, and that's where you get his most acclaimed book, which is Sands of Time, which is the story of I think he was a physicist, a brilliant American physicist who is one of those kinds of physicists who is selected in university for noticing that he has the mindset to be risked being shown the technology that they're developing, right? The kind of stuff that would become the legends of Bob Lazar. It's this story. It's like the background. It's just like, if you ever ask yourself, what was going on the opposite side of what Bob Lazar didn't know, right? You're trying to piece together the Bob Lazar story. That's what Sands of Time is great for. You figuring it out, you looking back at the facts of history and saying, okay, who was likely this character portraying in real life, right? Because because all the deep state operatives in there are the ones the names changed. Otherwise, there's a couple of moments where you've got presidents that are mentioned, but all these things are distant from the actual president, right? Or the Secretary of State or Defense or something like that is maybe mentioned as well as real, like real people of history that were really in office at those times and all. But otherwise, all the shadow players that are real, the people that are hired by the ones that are selected by the elected, or selected by the further selected, if you will. Either way, those guys that story spans several generations leading up to it leads up to either the late 90s or the early 2000s. It's either not long before or not long after 9/11, the events of the book, because from that point, that's where the documentation that Sean had been entrusted with the notes of history from the character that the main character is based on, the guy the main character the book is based on, like that's where it comes to an end, right? And so basically, if you read that book and you look at the tracking of events and you compare that to the anomalies of history as we know it from what happened on during the Philadelphia experiment, what is this thing I heard about the Dulce Wars? The Dulce Wars is a major chapter, major section of the book. Very good read. The book's got exopolitics in it. There is the meeting of a few extraterrestrials that were on the government's diplomatic relations with, if you will, and all the stuff that ties into all sorts of everything, including one of the things that New Age movement struggles to fucking accept is that not all the goddamn fucking Nordic looking dudes and shit with their goodwill message and the space hippie narrative are actual fucking good guy space hippies, right? It ain't like that with them at all. That's just a face of trust that they put on, that they get away with because they are human-looking aliens, and playing off of you can trust me, I'm more like you than the Greys, right? It's that kind of idea, right? But they're both adversarial to the human race, right? So this is important. There's all sorts of things that are important, there's Sean's written other books, like I think it was Veil the Dark Prophet, which was about radical Islam in a way that was very, very similar to what was going on over the last it would be like 12 years now, I'd say it had been going on effectively. The last 12 years or so. And then there was, there was all the great interviews he did on his radio show. There was all the great shows he produced that didn't have interviews, where he was just he was going through news articles and analysis, and then there was the many times on Revolution Radio when I was there on Revolution Radio. We met as his producer to help him in the background with running things because of the system that you had to run things on when you were in that state of on the independence of like your only income was like talking events and like book sales, like you got to go to the conference circuit and get paid to talk at your conference circuits to do workshops and things, and then you've also got your then you've got your book, and you're signing your book at the table, and all these things, and like that was, and that's how Sean basically, sustained himself, was through all of these different things that existed in the economy, at a time where those things were still real and hot, right? They were, like they were in the midst of it. People were still learning about it. Like the grifters hadn't ruined everything yet, and he emerged out and through that, and then eventually there was the great decline in the quality of everything going on. Not Sean's fault. Sean was class act. But at any rate. And so Melissa's carrying his legacy, feeling that sense of importance and purpose. And so I'm gonna go with it. And help her out in that way, if I'm helping at all. Me with my declining sub count, I woke up today. I'm at 648. I've lost 3 more. Is it chest? I bet it's the chest. It's okay. My chest is not for everyone. Speed bumps. They are what they are. All right. Oh, good. Looks like the spot is open. I can park in my secluded nook, unless the other little car is there and I can't park there. Then I have to pull out and I have to park elsewhere. But anyway, so Sunday, 2 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time. Excellent. I will have Melissa Morton from Sean David Morton's Strange Universe broadcast to talk about, oh my gosh, all sorts of things from the Shaunoverse. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.